I remember family members and friends telling me how independent I was. You know, they just saw a cute little blonde girl growing up. You know, everything looks fine from the outside, but on the inside, I was really suffering. After graduating high school and not really knowing which direction my life was going to go in, I started getting into heavier drugs, trying to fill that void that I had of not knowing who I am, not knowing why I feel miserable when I'm not high or when I'm not drunk. I was doing pretty well, making decent money, you know, popping pills pretty much daily. I'm doing fine. You know, I have money, I have a car, I have an apartment. You know, what's wrong with that? Until I started using heroin. Eventually, I met a guy who was a heroin addict, and you know, within the first couple of days of hanging out with him, I was doing heroin with him. I thought that I needed to distance myself again from the situation with the boyfriend, from my home life. So I ended up moving down to Tennessee from Wisconsin, thinking that, you know, I can just start over fresh. You know, I don't know anybody there. My boyfriend came down and we were trying to get clean together, and then our neighbor ended up being like our dope dealer. So I ended up going back home, staying at my parents' house for a few months, using, you know, every day, my mom crying, getting in fights. Cops would be called to our house. She would take my drugs, hide them from me. I made their lives a living hell, you know? And I knew that they knew, and I did not care. I was suicidal. I did not want to live anymore. I did not see any hope in the future. I woke up one morning, they're sending me to a rehab facility. I had no idea that recovery was even possible. I had no idea where I was. They drove me into the middle of nowhere to a treatment facility. I was pissed. I did not want to be there. I was feeling sick. I was a wreck. But I stayed and I did 30 days of treatment. And that was the hardest thing that I've ever done, but it was the most gratifying and most life-altering experience that I've ever had. I bonded with other women who were there. They kind of taught me like their different versions of God. They taught me that, you know, no matter what I've done, I can be forgiven, pointing out good things about me, telling me the bad things that I need to work on. It was really eye-opening, and after 30 days in rehab, I went into a sober living facility with several of the women who were in rehab with me, and I still live there. I have this amazing foundation that I built inside of treatment. I just trusted these women. I trusted the fellowship. I trusted my higher power to guide me. I thought, there is no hope for me. There's no way that I can live because I'm just too fucked up. But I'm living today, and I'm happy, and I feel free, and that's a miracle.